Alright, we're on the play with Rug Delver. This hand is probably a safe keep. We've got Snap, some cantrips, Interaction, 2 lands. I'd be happier if this breeding pool was a Steam Vents, but... Sorry. Well, actually, I wouldn't mind it being a Steam Vents. I'd be very happy if it was a Stomping Ground. I kind of want to start off with the island so that if we find a red source off of the visions, we don't have to shock ourselves twice. So that's what we're going to do. These aren't red sources, but this Misty Rainforest happens to be one. I don't think I want to draw any of these in a large portion of matchups in the blind, so we'll just keep going. Hopefully they play something that we can bolt. We end step Thought Scour. Island Go is not conducive to what I want to be doing right now. I do think I want to play the Misty over holding up or shocking for a breeding pool. We're going to go for Bolt or Snare plus Scour. That'd be nice. Ideally, our opponent allows us to do this by playing a boltable threat or a 2-mana spell. Serum Visions is neither of these things. So, Island, while it could be a host of decks, because a lot of decks run 2 islands, we're just going to fetch a Stomping Ground tapped and scour ourselves. Not much better we can do. As far as using our mana, we're not going to bolt them. Although, this looks like the kind of matchup where the bolt will be going at the face. Mana Leak's pretty good. Nice catch-all when the opponent has nothing going on. We can't yet traverse. I think I want to start off with the Scalding Tarn so that we don't end up drawing whatever I will fetch off of it. What's likely for next turn? Either Mana Leak plus Snare, Mana Leak plus Bolt, or Mana Leak plus Fetch tapped. Seems fine to play that. Our life total is pretty unlikely to matter against an opponent who so far has just played islands and hasn't played any threats. I don't really want to counter a Serum Visions yet. It's a little early for that sort of thing. If they had 0 cards in hand, I'd be pretty likely to counter their Serum Visions, but seems a little aggressive when they have 8. Celestial Colonnade. So do we want to start bolting? Bolt's going to have very few targets this game, and it's not great at hitting colonnades. So I might just want to be mana efficient. Still only 3 types in the graveyard. I think I want our second red source. It seems unlikely that we have a target for Bolt, so let's just get that out of the way. If we do, there's always Snap Bolt. We're going to play this tapped. Not much better. We have a bunch of counter spells, and our opponent is playing nothing. If we had a decent threat this game, we would have been in a great spot. This actually might be one of those games where it actually comes up that Narnum Renegade is better than Snapcaster Mage. So if this was a Renegade, we could have played it on turn 2 when we had the Misty, and then good things would have happened. Our opponent so far has done nothing. I actually want to go for Snap Bolt here. It's extremely aggressive, and they probably just have a counter for it, but we have nothing going on. So, plus now we have a creature in the bin. If they don't have another counter, we can use this Traverse. Now the possible counters they could have are probably Remand or Mana Leak plus, say, a Dispel. So I'm trying to figure out if I need to play this Misty before Traverse. I'll do it just in case. Let's use that. We're going to get ourselves a nice big fat threat. Do I want a Goyf or a Mandrills? Because I don't want a Delver. Don't want Snap. Mandrills I can play for green and then have 2 counters up. That seems pretty good. So let's do that. We get the Mandrills. We play the Mandrills. There it is. Things are going to be delved. Special, because I don't want to pay 5 mana. I want to leave the Bolt. The lands can go. My only concerns here are second Traverse, second Snap. Thought Scour, something like that, I think. Makes Delirium pretty accessible. While also, I should have gotten this Misty. I didn't click properly. I could have left the Snapcaster in, which would have had Delirium be on instantly, which is only important if we lose this Mandrills, but if they path it, we don't have a creature in the yard. Now we play the Drago Dance. Unfortunately, our opponent has a Celestial Colonnade, which can't block this turn, but it can block next turn. And that's not good. Mana Leak is pretty much reserved for Nahiri the Harbinger right now, because it's entirely possible they're on Nahiri. That's just going to eat a Spell Snare. They're going for Snap, probably blocking and bolting us, or bolting the Mandrills, but I think you would want to bolt before that, so that's a little odd. I'm going to counter anyways, because I don't want them to have it. Plus, Spell Snare could be problematic if they give that flashback, in case we end up needing to use that Mana Leak, so let's not. Because if we let the Snap resolve, they block Hoots, and then they go for a Bolt that uses this mountain. They could have targeted the Spell Snare. Now we can't protect the Mandrills, because if we leak, they Spell Snare, we're in a very bad spot. Them having Colonnade up is really bad for us, because that straight up just trades with Mandrills, and that's not what we want to be doing. We have 2 green sources, so I kind of want another. Or I could get our 3rd red source. 3rd red or 3rd green. Our 3rd red comes with the 4th blue source, but those are both pretty unlikely to come up. Of course, unless they have a couple of remands, we're unlikely to need triple green. I'll get the forest anyways. Stubborn Denial makes me want to keep Mandrills around longer. Unfortunately, we are in a kind of bad position, because they have this Desolate Lighthouse, which basically is going to win them the long game, and we can't profitably take the short game against this Colonnade. Kind of weird that they didn't use the Lighthouse there. Maybe they misclicked? Do I want to start Tar Firing? It seems loose. I might draw a Lightning Bolt, and it's theoretically possible they don't have counters. So let's do that. Do I want to hold the land? It's really unlikely we need it. All 3 of these take 4 mana, and then we can't play around Mana Leak anyways. If I attack, they just block. Simic Charm has been exiled, so we don't have that out. We also don't have Vapor Snag yet, and I don't know if it's coming soon. I think we just wait and hope to draw a Lightning Bolt or a second Tarfire, and be able to beat them in the counter war that ensues. Of course, Desolate Lighthouse is going to make that extremely difficult, but we're going to do our best. Also, they can resolve a Nahiri at will. Well, no, we have Denial, never mind. I was thinking they can pay for Mana Leak. Denial makes that a little better, because at least they'll have to counter our Denial. Serum Visions, once again, late game, very good, but I don't think I can afford, to counter it, so we're going to let it be. We're just in an awful spot. It's a lose-lose. If we attack, we lose our only threat, and there's the second threat. Now we're going to attack. If we attacked previously, we lose our only threat, and we don't succeed in the short game. Snapcaster Mage, I don't know what they're up to. We can always counter a Lightning Bolt, but I kind of like Spell Snare here. They cannot use Colonnade currently. Now, we could also try to get them to use their supposed Lightning Bolt that we think they have. But then if they have, they can target Snare like I said before. It's hairy. It's very hairy. We'll see what happens. Targeting Spell Snare, yes. So now they're protected from Mana Leak. Attackers declared. I believe if you're going for the bolt play, you're supposed to bolt before you actually commit to blocking, because if I can counter their bolt, then they lost snap for nothing. I'm willing to just let the turn end. I still have Mandrills in hand, but there's no need to run it out. They do that. Now we open ourselves up to a Nahiri by countering this, so maybe this is actually bad. Maybe I actually should have snared the Snapcaster. We also can't use the Mana Leak this turn, but if we save it for a potential Nahiri, which I really don't think they're running because they have a lot of lands and they haven't played it yet, but it's entirely possible they are on Jeskai Nahiri. If they deal with our denial, we can't protect our Mandrills anymore, and it looks like they're in the mood for dealing with denial. Of course, if they tap out for a Cryptic Command, never mind, they can't cast that. They don't have sufficient blue. Unless they sacrifice the Ghost Quarter to get the requisite blue, that's possible. It's a Lightning Helix that we can snare. So we still got value out of that Spell Snare, which is good. I'm also pretty happy to not let them gain 3 life. So it looks like all that's going to happen, which is actually quite fantastic, because they're at 7, and that's good for us. We have Mana Leak, which honestly doesn't do much in this spot, so the first chance we have to favorably trade it away, we will take it. Tarfire now. That's a good question, Self. If we go for the Tarfire, they're at 5. I think I kind of want to go for the Tarfire. We're going to use the Stomping Ground, of course, so that we can hold up counters. We just have Leak, but they don't know that. We're going to get the show on the road. Scalding Tarn ain't great, but it fetches a blue source and puts a card in the bin. So we're going to attack, probably trade with the Colonnade, and then play a follow-up Mandrills. At this point, they're low enough that I just want to be keeping them on the defense. We honestly can't trade with that Snapcaster. If they play Snapcaster, we can't even trade with the Helix profitably, so they're almost certainly gaining their 3 life, which is very unfortunate, but at least they take 3 off of the Mandrills connecting with Snap, so that could be worse. It looks like their only win con is the Colonnade, which is kind of good for us. Here comes the Helix. Do I even bother? They can't Lighthouse, or Loot House, as people like to call it. So there's no real upside to using the Mana Leak. No, there isn't. So we're just going to let all that happen. They stay at 5. We lose Mandrills, and we're going to play Mandrills number 2. All that happens. How many cards are in the bin? We have 5 card types. If we find Snap or Traverse, Traverse is live. So let's play a Mandrills. We just want to play green. I want to play around stuff. Plus, it's pretty unlikely we need all of this graveyard. Let's keep the creature now. 1 Spell Snare. Both lands. We have another land. I do want to keep the Lightning Bolt. I guess we get rid of a second Spell Snare. And I need to leave 4 cards. If I leave Tarfire and take away the Bolt, I think that's okay. I don't think Bolt does much more than Tarfire in this spot, unless I draw the second Tarfire and the Snapcaster to flash back the one in the graveyard that would otherwise be a Lightning Bolt. This is a spot for Mana Leak. I apologize to anyone whose ears were just savaged, or I guess ravaged is a better word there, by my enthusiasm. But bam, we just got a Cryptic Command out of their hand. Not wasting Mana Leak was amazing. Go to end step. Yes. That's fantastic. I want to check our exile to see it. Tarfire isn't there, so we can draw the Tarfire and be punished by our greed. But I think I want Traverse online. Their only way to deal with Mandrills right now is to trade away their Colonnade. I don't like playing that land. That just lets us know that their only way is to use the Colonnade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lands in play for our opponent. I want to keep track in case we see a hardcast Emrakul. All of the non-basics are out of our deck, at least the ones that are fetchable. So we're just going to grab the island, and we can't fetch anything. Bam. What do we got? Be good. Be good. Oh, Vapor Snag wins the game right here, so be a Vapor Snag. That's not a Vapor Snag, but it is pretty good given that it counters things that cost 4. I don't think our opponent plays any spells that cost 5. I'm going to play the Steam Vents now, because next turn if we draw a 1-mana spell, we might want to use it and the Shoal. I kind of don't want to attack, but I also kind of do want to attack. I'm going to not. If we top deck a Vapor Snag and we still have Hooting Mandrills around, we're in just about the best spot anyone has ever been in a game of Magic. So I'll wait. I think it's better to be patient. Otherwise, we lose our win con, they lose their win con, and everybody's in top deck mode. So we drew Tarfire, which means if we draw a Snapcaster Mage, we get punished by our Traverse Greed. But if we draw a Traverse, we don't, because that was a requisite card type. But there are 5 in the bin again because of the Scalding Tarn, so I actually think I should have taken out the Tarfire and put in the Bolt. I honestly think we just pass the turn again. I have nothing good to do here. I think we just have to play the waiting game. I also don't really want to show them the Tarfire yet, in case they feel like fetching with that Flooded Strand, because then Tarfire, Snap Tarfire is lethal. And that's something I would like to keep available. They have what appears to be second Ghost Quarter. Xmage says second Ghost Quarter. This is so exciting! And such a long game, too. Wow. We are recording. I figured I'd double check, because that would make me extremely sad. They're taking out our Steam Vents? Well then, I'm going to tap it for blue mana. What up? No, I don't. I don't have any more basics. Thanks. They do have, essentially, Wasteland. Yeah, pass regardless. I don't know if they actually have a use for taking out one of our lands, or if they're just probing us to see if we can, if we have basics, but, I mean, those Ghost Quarters are live, so, yeah. No, we don't have anything, so, yeah, pass regardless. Do I want to Tarfire them here? Yeah, we only have the 1 red source, so we're going to. Technically, I should have done it with one of those Steam Vents, because we can now counter slightly fewer spells with this Shoal. Remand is one of the spells that we can, in fact, counter, and I don't want to let them draw a card. Shoal is only getting worse, so I do think I want to use it here. X is 2. That one. Blue, 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 green. Counter that. Get it out of here. They're at 3. Lightning Bolt off the top is game. Snapcaster is not quite game, although it's close. It is exceedingly close to game. If we draw a Snapcaster, we attack with Mandrills, trade, Snap, Tarfire, they go to 1. If Snap can connect, we're good. Okay, so that happens. What do we have? It's a Delver of Secrets. I honestly kind of want to attack and play that. Or, we don't attack and we play it. Is there a real difference there? Because they have to lose their Colonnade. Yeah, I think I just want to attack. It makes more sense to me. If they have an answer to Delver, they have an answer to Delver. It happens regardlessly. Of course, what I can do is not attack, we don't trade, and then if they have an answer to Delver, I still have the out of draw Vapor Snag off the top. So I think that's a slightly better line. We're going to end combat there. I don't think our opponent gets any information out of seeing us waffle between attacking and not. We're going to go for this. Do you have it, sir? Do you have it? Supreme Verdict. Oh, geez. Wow. I don't think it's right to play around Supreme Verdict after going that long, but we did get severely punished by not trying to trade with the Colonnade. Bolt is still extraordinarily live, and there are 3 in the deck, so I mean, hey, Mana Leak is garbage, and now they have a 4-turn clock. Guys, we might lose, and it might actually be because we didn't attack with Mandrills, which I don't know was the right play, which scares me. But they're not doing anything, which honestly scares me more. Okay, Finding another mana leak doesn't really scare me, but it does bother me quite a bit because the deck apparently is disrespecting us severely. They're stockpiling. I don't know why they're not attacking. I honestly don't. We have Traverse, which means if it resolves and a bunch of other things happen, technically we should have left the Lightning Bolt in the graveyard, because if they don't have a counter, we could get a Snapcaster Mage and kill them, which is extremely distressing. As is, I want a Tarmogoyf, because it survives Bolt and Helix and Battle with Colonnade. I do think we try to play it. I mean, I'll hold up Mana Leak, even though it does actual nothing. If they remanded the Goyf, I would just slam it, and there's a path. Nice, nice. I got nothing. Mana Leak doesn't help us here. It's extremely unlikely that Mana Leak will help us ever again, but I mean, we're doing our best. Them using Path instead of a counter might imply that they were dead to Snap Bolt, but I don't know. Delver does not win us the game because Delver can be favorably blocked by Colonnade, so it looks like we should have been attacking with that Mandrills at the end there. There's a Bolt. At least it's not going to us. I really don't know why they're not attacking right now. Did they forget Colonnade is here? This Colonnade is active. I don't get it. We're gonna do this on their upkeep in case they have counters, and then somehow they have to tap enough mana, because these mana leaks actually could be relevant right now. Oh, and they're loot housing. This is great. Mana leak might actually win us the game. They tap 4 lands for loot house. This is fantastic. We bolt. Do you have a counter? They have a Helix, which we mana leak. They pay for mana leak, and we mana leak. Did that just happen? Did that just happen? Can I get confirmation on whether or not this is happening right now? Mana leak can resolve. They pay 3. Pay 3. Oh my god. Oh my god. Did I do it? Did I do it? Bolt resolves? Guys, I did it. Okay, I don't even care if we don't have post-port games. That needs to be on YouTube, because that was fantastic. Wow. That was a nail-biter. So I do think I should have attacked... Well, attacking with Mandrills on that pivotal turn, just prior to them Supreme Verdicting, is basically, do they draw Supreme Verdict? And do I draw Vapor Snag? Because if I draw Vapor Snag, I shouldn't attack with the Mandrills. If I draw Verdict, or if they draw Verdict, I should. So it's basically, are they more likely to draw Verdict than I am Snag? I think they are more likely to draw Verdict, but I just totally didn't think about Verdict, so I do believe that was a misplay. Although they didn't attack with the Colonnade for some exceedingly strange reason. I don't know what was going through their mind, but I feel like I probably should have died if they attacked with Colonnade all the times they could have. Maybe they were playing around a lot of stuff. I don't know. But we did it, and that was absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to sideboard. They have Loot House, Colonnade, and a 3-color mana base. I want Blood Moon. Revelry is definitely coming in because Rest in Peace exists. I want the Huntmasters for similar reasons, and they're just absolutely fantastic. They have a lot of ways for us to get lands out of our deck. They have Snapcaster Mage. Let's put the Mountain here and move the Curiosity here. I like having all of the cards in one pile. Don't want Pyroclasm. I might want Dismember for Colonnade. Don't think I want Ancient Grudge. Explosives is another answer to Rest in Peace, but I don't really think I want to go deep on that. I do think I want Dismember as an answer to Colonnade, because that means, do I want to cut Vapor Snag? I kind of want all of this good stuff. Shoal was at least somewhat good late game there, but we're going to cut it, because I don't want too many of them. Mana Leak gets dead after a while. I want to trim probably 2 Hooting Mandrills in the face of what is assumably going to be Graveyard Hate. At least 1 Bolt should come out. All of that stuff's good. Spell Snare counters tons of things in their deck. And I honestly think Thought Scour is what leaves, because I just don't want to be super in on that kind of thing. They'll probably be filling up our graveyard. Although if we can land an early Mandrills, we're in an amazing spot. But then there's the concept of graveyard hate, so I don't want a lot of Mandrills. Let's see what else we can bring in. Thought Scour can be good, so it has at least some merit. I think I want to cut the Curiosity. That doesn't let Thought Scour in yet. Cut another Bolt, get a Thought Scour. Anything else we can get rid of? I think I want Denial. I want Denial a lot. I want the Leaks. I think this is what we're going to go with here. It looks pretty good. It's worth a shot. We're on the draw because we won that game in basically the most awesome fashion anyone ever won. This is a mulligan because we don't have lands. I'm going to check. We are recording. I keep checking because that was fantastic and I don't want to lose it. Mountain is not a good thing to see here, but if it wasn't Mountain, it would be a non-land, so it's not like we're being punished for that. We're on the draw. I would very much like to draw a Spell Snare. Go to us. I believe we just fetch, maybe get a basic island. I also kind of don't... I'm having a bit of a love-hate relationship with fetching out basics right now because they have at least 2 Ghost Quarters and almost certainly 4 paths. That's 6 ways to get our basics for us, but we also have Blood Moon in our deck. Of course, I could always get the basic island with that Scalding Tarn, so I guess we start off grabbing a Breeding Pool with this, and we're going to match Visions for Visions. Ours isn't foil. Theirs is. We have 2 lands, 3 lands, so Huntmaster is actually kind of great. I don't think I want Revelry yet. We're going to leave Huntmaster for now. Especially in the face of a Path to Exile deck when we can slam Goyf. So that's a thing. This is foil. Looks like a Judge promo or something of the sort. This isn't promo, so I guess well, it's not a promo. It's also not foil, which is what I meant to say. So we're kind of losing the whole awesome Serum Visions battle. Do I want a basic island? A basic island is fine for Huntmaster, and as long as we don't fetch them too aggressively, the basics aren't bad. We can safely tap out for Goyf this turn. It's almost certainly going to run into a Spell Snare, but I still want to do it. Holding up our Spell Snare isn't very good. Remand is okay. That's fine. I mean, it's not great. I would much rather they path the Goyf, because then turn 3 Huntmaster says, what? But, you know, what are you going to do? We're either playing Goyf or we're holding up a Spell Snare that's unlikely to do anything. So that's not very good. In this spot, I want to play the Mountain, and I think we cast the Goyf again. We can't protect it from anything that isn't a 2 CMC spell, but we also don't have a mana leak for Nahiri. Excuse me, and we don't have a stubborn denial for Nahiri, so... Well, if we did have denial, we'd still slam Goyf, but I think what we need to be doing is slamming Goyf. I tried to cast Goyf without paying green mana, which is a no-go. So it resolved. Do we hold up Spell Snare, or do we go for the Visions? What a question. They don't have anything in the graveyard that is worth snap casting, so Spell Snare isn't good in that regard. They don't have double red for Helix Bolt, so I think we're just going to go for Visions. Try to find our 4th land drop for the Huntmaster. There it is. I don't think we want this Spell Snare, but we certainly want it after the land. We can always scour it away. I don't want to play the Huntmaster yet, because we are in the mood for playing around Supreme Verdict, but we are going to be cognizant of the fact that Huntmaster is in our hand, and 4th land drops are welcome. They didn't answer Goyf, so I'm pretty happy to just play a land and say go. Do I want to shock with this? It doesn't give us our 3rd source of blue, so I don't think we do. We're just going to get in there. Our opponent is on the back foot, although for the time being we have slightly less life than they do. That's about to change, and it's also not super relevant. Here's a path. I can go for Hexproof, or I can let it happen and go for go for Huntmaster. Well, we should have shocked, it appears, because then we could Simic Charm and have further blue up. As is, we're tapping out of blue, which is dangerous. I think we want to go for the Simic Charm, though. Let's get some Hexproof. Blue-green. We want to make them use as much of their spells on Goyf as possible, because then Huntmaster is likely to take the game away. Plus, Simic Charm isn't likely to be used as reach in this matchup. That's pretty much fact. We'll get in for 3. I am happy to be getting a basic island out of the deck, because that means more blue for us. But, you know, we probably should have shocked. I didn't consider wanting to Simic Charm there, which I'm kind of being sloppy. I apologize for that. We don't have anything to play. A Johnny Vengeant. Well, we couldn't have spell snared it anyways. It's going to stop Goyf from untapping, which isn't the end of the world, but it is annoying. Like I said, I'm being a little sloppy. Could be because I have an exam to study for, so maybe I'm subconsciously somewhat nervous. I have one today, so this is going to be our last match. We drew a spell snare, which isn't super bad. I don't hate it. I'm really not sure what we want to do. So I think I just want to sit back and wait. Of course, so basically we're in a bit of a catch-22 here, where if we do nothing, they can Ajani Vengeant forever and then destroy all of our lands. But if we play Huntmaster, we run the risk of Supreme Verdict. If they go for Ajani, actually, we can go Snap Simic Charm, so we're going to let that happen. We're not going to do anything. Of course, they could have a Spell Snare or any number of things, but we'll wait. We will wait. I think that's our best bet, so that's what we're going to do. We have the requisite mana, so that's good. They could have Spell Snare. They could have Path anyways, but that's fine, because then we get a Path out of their hand. I just don't want to run into Verdict or let them Ajani Vengeant forever. So he does that. Now we have to act. We go for it. If they do counter either of these, at least we can Thought Scour on our end step and hope to find action. So not the end of the world. If they go for Supreme Verdict after this Snap resolves, I'm pretty happy. Snap Remand bothers me a lot. It bothers me quite a bit. I think I want to wait for them to Remand before using the Spell Snare. We're not going to get to use our Simic Charm, but at least we'll get to poke Ajani with the Snapcaster. Well, actually, we can't necessarily do that because now they have a Snapcaster of their own. But I don't think going for that was very good. Sorry about that pause. I got a phone call that I had a pretty good idea I should be picking up. Serum Visions ain't bad. Snap's not going to do much, so we are in trouble. I kind of want to just play into the Verdict now because there's not much else we can do, and I can at least hope to gas back up after. So I think we're going to attack Ajani with the Snapcaster, let them trade, and then go for the Huntmaster. Yeah, we don't really have much of a choice but to play into Verdict because at this point we can't really play around it. So that's what we're going to try. Hopefully it's all good. If it's not, well then we lose, so not much two ways about that. Let's see if this Huntmaster can resolve and win us the game. Hopefully it can. I don't like Serum Visions before that Huntmaster because if we don't draw a land off of Visions, then we don't get to Huntmaster, and our turn becomes way worse than it otherwise would be. So I think we're better off just playing the Huntmaster and being conservative. Target's Breeding Pool, so it looks like there's a Supreme Verdict coming. Soulfire Grandmaster. That's interesting. He wouldn't play that before a Verdict, so that's good. I don't know why exactly he targeted the Breeding Pool. We can fetch and Serum Visions, but I would actually prefer to just get at this Ajani and let Huntmaster flip. Cryptic Command is going to work at stopping that. Probably bouncing Huntmaster. No, it's just tap draw. They played a spell, so now I do want to use the Serum Visions. That's fine. It's certainly annoying, but it is fine. They can't blow up our lands yet, so we're not quite out of the game. And they're not quite out of the woods. I am going to get a Steam Vents and pay some life because we are very short on basics, so seems like a good idea to play with that in mind. Hooting Mandrills and Stubborn Denial are both cards I am quite fond of, so let's leave those on top. Denial can be first, actually. I like Denial first. We'll hold up Scour. If they play any spells, we'll probably Scour them. Mystic Gate, Filterland. Expedition makes things hard to identify. Here is a Ghost Quarter on the Stomping Ground. I actually shouldn't have that stop on. That's a bad idea. Do I want to? I want to keep my scry. It's a good scry. It is a very good scry. They target Tarmogoyf. If they don't have a land, we can at least keep them off of the ultimate. So that's good. If they have Verdict, I'm pretty close to just scooping because we'll play a Mandrills, they'll destroy all of our lands, and then pretty much any removal spell wins them the game. So there's that. Torrential Gearhulk. Wow, that's hardcore. So it looks like they're definitely not playing Nahiri, because this sort of Jeskai deck usually doesn't. What are they targeting? Oh, we don't get to know yet. Well, it does resolve. Hopefully it's a 2-mana spell. I would enjoy that. They could always Path Huntmaster, which is really bad for us. If they do, we probably scoop. It's Cryptic. We can't answer that. We're gonna let it resolve. Can't even Scour into Denial. We don't have the lands, and we don't have the setup. Unless there's a Denial immediately below our other Denial, but we still don't have double blue. They're going to bounce our Steam Vents and draw a card. Johnny's keeping Goyf tap down. We can't get through that. I really think we're just dead, so we're going to scoop. We can come back in game 3. Knowing what they have, I think we want to go for less of a draw-go deal and more of an aggressive thing. It's pretty unlikely that they have Rest in Peace given all of their own graveyard interactions. I still like all of the Blood Moons. I basically want everything, I feel like. Dismember is kind of bad against a decent number of their cards. Simic Charm proved good. If we're not playing around Rest in Peace, we're just not going to play around Rest in Peace. So Revelry can go. Second Dismember may as well leave. We're on the play, so Mana Leak's a little bit better than it otherwise would be. I think I just want to cut a Snag, because it's less versatile, and maybe just one Thought Scour. We're going to go for something a little more aggressive like this. Hopefully it works out for us. We have 4 minutes on the clock, so we're going to try to be fast. Can I keep this? We have Delver into pretty much nothing. So I think it's a mulligan. I believe our average 6 is better than that. Whether or not we're going to get one such average 6 that is better than this, I can't say for sure. But I think we may as well mulligan because chances are we get a better hand. So let's do it. I'm going to have to try to play fast because this has been a long game, and I have a tendency to talk when I record. As you guys, I'm sure, are aware. So let's see what we can do. Well, at least our opponent's clock is running right now, so that's good. I guess they have a Trixie Mulligan. Who knows? This hand is so much better. Oh my god, is this hand good. And we have Goyf on top, please. Do I even want to fetch? I don't. I think we're going to play this Misty because we probably want to fetch out the forest. And I don't really want to use both. I don't want to show them the island because I want that to be a Blood Moon surprise. If I can go Goyf into Blood Moon without them dealing with Goyf, I will be ecstatic. Colonnade tapped is a very good sign. We draw Goyf. We're going to fetch out a Steam Vents with this Tarn because I want them to consider Blood Moon as little as possible. So we don't want to show them Basic Island, Basic Forest. We are getting a Basic Forest with this, though. And here comes the Goyf. Now, it dies to Bolt, but if they Bolt Goyf, they don't have a counter for Blood Moon, so that's pretty okay. Serum Visions bodes extremely well for us. It's highly likely that they run Stubborn Denial or any sort of effect like that. If they path Goyf, I'm honestly okay with it. We draw our own Serum Visions, which won't be countered yet. I do want to play the Blood Moon pre-combat, I think, just in case they do have some way to counter it, so that Goyf gets big. May as well get those damages in. Here's a path on Goyf. Sure, I'll get another island. So we got blue, blue, green, and red. Pathing Goyf there was probably essential for them so that they could not just die to the beater. But fortunately for us, we still have plenty of stuff to do. Them having a second island is actually really fortunate, because they can Visions and have Remand up, which will slow us down. It will certainly slow us down, but we're still going to slam our Huntmaster. Unless they have a basic Plains, they can't Verdict, and I actually think Verdict is white, white, blue. I'm going to look that up real quick because that's actually super relevant. Supreme Verdict. White, white, blue. So they cannot cast it off of a Plains. Another burn spell is at least somewhat neat. Let's get this Huntmaster down. It resolves, which is amazing. That means they didn't have the Remand. They had the Bolt. At least we got a 2/2 out of the deal, and a 2-for-1. Of course, that 2/2 cost us 3 mana, but it was a free card, so not bad. Not bad at all. Second Goyf is very good. I'm going to Serum Visions in case we can find a Denial. It's another Visions. Do I want Snap? I don't. It gets us a little closer to the whole Snap Bolt deal, but I don't think I want it. I'll attack with the 2/2 first. Because we're not scared of Supreme Verdict, I'm going to start playing creatures and clocking them as quickly as possible. Here's a Bolt. That's fine. So Huntmaster cost us 2 mana, but it 2-for-1'd our opponent and gained us a little bit of life. So that's okay. I'm not going to pretend I have a Stubborn Denial. Ooh, they have a Remand. That's very fortunate for them. Yeah, that just happens. We're just going to bolt them on their end step. Probably Tarfire, actually. Make Goyf a little better. Oh, I forgot to do it. Wow. That is absolutely awful. I'm going to shock because our life total isn't in a lot of danger. And we have these 2 red spells that I'd like to cast. Especially because I kind of screwed up a little bit. Don't want to Serum Visions because I'm at least somewhat interested in bluffing at this point. After this game, I will definitely be off to study, so this will be the last one. Do they have double Bolt? Bolt, Snap, Bolt. That'll do. We're going to end up killing off that Snapcaster Mage because I don't want them to have a beater. That would be bad. So that can happen. Well, yep. Actually, if we Tarfire here, does Goyf outgrow... Does it become a 6-7? No, it's just a 5-6. That'd be fantastic if I turned it into a 6-7. Do I want a Lightning Bolt here? Probably not. I have red in plentiful amounts. Let's get off of Serum Visions, hopefully find another threat. Delver's good. Surgical is pretty good. I don't really want another Snare, though. Surgical has the added benefit of transforming Delver. Hopefully they're out of bolts. Yep. Surgical is going to make Snapcaster very bad, so I like having it on top. Also hurts Torrential Gearhulk, which they can hit eventually. They have double blue already. I believe they only need 2 more lands. It's either a 6-drop or a 7-drop. I don't actually know, because I've seen the card like in 3 matches maybe. If they do have a Snapcaster Mage, I think our clock is still back. Another Lightning Bolt. They're just going off with these things. What? How many Lightning Bolts is that? Is that all 4? We've got 3 and 1 is in the graveyard. So yes, we have seen all 4 Lightning Bolts. And if they play a Snapcaster, well, they're probably not going to play into that because they know we have the Extraction. I'm going to start bolting them because I have really nothing better to do. Huntmaster seems like a good thing to draw. Holding up Spell Snare and Surgical. Well, Surgical we don't actually hold up. But yeah, holding up Spell Snare seems good. Gets us around Remand. Also Lightning Helix. Of course, they need a Plains before they can play that. They're out of bolts, and Snapcaster is essentially a dead card. So I think we got this. We're going to let Huntmaster transform. Deal 2. We have 1 minute and 14 seconds, so I'm going to click very rapidly. Second Blood Moon is dead. We're just going to attack with all past the turn. Showmanship is going to tank slightly. Tank and slightly are a little opposed, but that's okay. If they don't cast a spell, I'm not going to want to, because I'd rather have Ravager than Huntmaster here. I'm actually extremely nervous about losing to the clock right now. I probably only Surgical if they play a Snapcaster Mage. Let's have the graveyard ready to go. Let's get Hours down here. And I don't need to worry about Spell Snaring unless they play a 2 CMC spell. Blood Moon's currently dead, so our draw dictates whether or not we just go straight to combat. If Xmage lags for roughly a minute, we could lose the game. So I'm also nervous about that potentially happening. But looks pretty good. We got a 2-turn clock, a Tarfire that does not speed up our clock, so we're just going to hit. Although, if we Tarfire and cast some spells, we could do good things, but I don't think that's really relevant. If we Tarfire and Surgical on their turn, we can transform Huntmaster. Then if they don't play any spells, we can transform it back and win off of the Ravager damage. But it looks like we can do it anyways. Not the Huntmaster flipping, but the closing of the game. Loot House is a mountain, and they scoop. We did it! It was a little hairy there, and I apologize for splitting this into 3 3 videos due to getting phone calls, but I will do my best to splice those together and make it hopefully somewhat cohesive for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you come back for the next one, and hopefully I do well on my exam, which I should be studying for right now, so peace. Have a good day, guys. Have a good day.